myself, I love seed starting. It's one of my favorite things of horticulture. But one thing I have a bad habit about is holding seed over from year to year to year. To me, it's hard to get rid of that packet that you might only have 10 seeds in, or I don't like throwing anything away. So I always try to keep things. Well, if you're one of those gardeners that try to keep seeds from year to year, then seed germination testing would probably be a good thing. If you're constantly refreshing your seeds from year to year, it's not such a big thing. So just keep that in mind. So if you want to start testing your seeds, it's a great time to do it in January. Some of the supplies that you will need is paper towels, containers or baggies, pencils or markers to label, tags that you can either put in the bags or you can put a piece of tape on your bag and write on it, spray bottle or some way of moistening the paper towel, the seeds that you want to test, and tweezers if they're really small seeds. Like I said, you want to test regularly, usually the beginning of the year in January, if you have a habit of holding seeds over. And this is to test their germination rate to see if they're still good. Because I don't know if you've ever been out in the garden and you've sown a bunch of lettuce or spinach and all of a sudden very few come up. Well, usually when seeds age, they lose that germination rate. They lose the ability to take up that water and sprout. Some seeds die quickly. And so all seeds are different. For example, a lot of your tomato seeds you can actually keep for 4 or 5 years, maybe even longer if the conditions are right. Other seeds like impatiens or some of the more common flower ones, you might have to replace your seeds every year to every couple of years. And so just keep that in mind. There are references online that will tell you how long you need to keep the seeds. Now, just keep in mind, best case scenarios, that's keeping them in a cool, dark place or in a refrigerator where it's not collecting dampness, it's not getting overly warm. So just keep that in mind. So the process. So basically you're taking your paper towel and you're laying it out and you're placing 10 seeds on it. Now, I have heard gardeners say, oh no, I put 20 seeds. It doesn't really matter because all you're going to do is come up with a percentage of what those seeds are germinating at. And so my recommendation, keep it simple. You want the math simple. So you take 10 seeds and then you can either roll those seeds up in a paper towel or you can fold it over, and we're placing it into a baggie. Now, I'm also one of those that I really like to recycle things. So I tend to lean more toward a container that I can scrub up and wash up afterwards versus a baggie. But it's up to you how you do it. Either is fine as long as you're being able to moisten that paper towel and keep that moisture in so that germination can occur. Once you have that paper towel in the bag or the container, you're wanting to write that seed variety and the date you sowed it on that tag. Or I take masking tape and I will put the masking tape on my container or bag and write on it. It works just fine. I like also pencil, but since we're only doing this indoors and it's not in the greenhouse, you can use a permanent marker also. So once you get the paper towel in the bag, that's when you're going to moisten that paper towel, either by a spray bottle or you can use a slow trickle on a faucet, but you want it good and moist, or you can even have it wet. You want to seal that bag or the container, and you want to place it into a dark, warm place where it's going to get nice and warm. And that way your seeds will germinate. And you want to check it every couple of days. A lot of times the cooler season seeds will actually germinate within about 2 or 3 days, whereas the warm season seeds will take about 7 to 10 days. And so you just randomly check it. So these are peas on the right-hand side. We decided to test our peas. And so you can tell that most of them are starting to germinate. If you want to make sure they're all germinating, I would put them back in the bag at this point and let them go a couple more days. Because right now you can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you can count 7 that are germinating. And I imagine those last 3 would germinate too. And so within about 5 days, you can generally tell what's happening and how many you're going to have to germinate. All right. So just keep in mind that the number of seeds that you have that are germinating is going to reflect that germination rate. So if you have 8 out of 10 that have germinated, then you have 80%. If you have 2 out of 10, then you have 20%. And so if you have a low number, you might consider buying new seed. or you can plant heavier, the number of seeds per square foot. So just a couple different options. Usually when it's 80%, I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and sow like normal. If it shows 50% or 40%, I'm probably going to double the rate that I'm seeding. And then if we get down to 20 or 30%, that's when I'm going to buy new seed. Now, what I say is it's up to you how you proceed with those numbers, because you may not be like me, where you might say, oh, 50%, I'm going to order seeds right away. It's up to you ultimately. But when in doubt, just seek out that new seed and you'll be good for the season. And hopefully after testing several seeds, maybe you'll get the hang of it and you can do this every year.